Welcome back to the Athlete's Edge Coaches Edition podcast, your front row seat to learning from experts who are leading the way in sports coaching. Our mission is to introduce you to impactful coaches from every sport so you can provide the best support for your student athletes and provide them with the best opportunities as they look to advance their sporting career. Today, I'm excited to introduce our special guest, if I could get my words right this morning, Ali Tareh. He's the owner and trainer of Fight Fitness Center. Ali, how you doing? Good morning to you.
Good morning, sir. I'm good. Thank you.
Excellent. Well, welcome to the show. I'm excited to get into this. But let's start with a little bit more of what you do there at Fight Fitness Center. What is it that makes you so great at what you do?
We operate in combat sport, kickboxing and boxing, strength and conditioning. We have a lot of members at the gym, about 140 members at the gym. We teach them boxing and kickboxing, but we do have a lot of competitive fighters as well, professional and amateur fighters. So a lot of them, they were kids, now they're grown men and they are fighting professionally.
Yeah, that's great stuff. Combat fighting, it's an awesome way to train. How did you get into this?
Well, I started in a very early age. I started martial arts, taekwondo, karate, kung fu, then little by little I moved toward competing in all those martial arts sports. Then started boxing. Then it led me to fighting, kickboxing and Muay-Thai. I was member of national team for 4 years. I fought around 200 kickboxing fights, kickboxing and sanctions. Then 1999, I came to USA and I fought few kickboxing fights. Then I understood there is no market for it. It's all MMA and boxing. Then I turned professional boxing and I fought 33 professional boxing fights. Then I had to just cap it up and open a gym and focus teaching the young members.
Yeah, that's what's so. It's a tough, obviously, industry. You're there teaching combat fighting, and young kids are coming in and they're learning how to fight. But what are some of the life lessons that are really coming out of the type of training that you're doing for these kids?
Life lesson, the main life lesson is to be a fighter. You don't have to definitely punch and kick people. Mentally, you get tougher. You understand you have to have hard grip for everything in life.
Yeah.
If you are at the gym for a few months and still you are doing same amount of push-ups and crunches, physical activity, then you're not pushing yourself.
Yeah.
So everybody, again, even the young kids, we have 6, 7-year-old kids or older people, they are in their 60s and 70s, they train with us. They don't have to go in a ring or cage to take punches, but they all learn to have this mentality of hard work and dedication. They have to push themselves and get it better every day.
Yeah. Grit is something that is not taught enough today. I don't think it's talked about enough. I think grit is something that every kid should be learning somehow, somewhere. So how do you teach that grit, right? That's in your gym there. How do you teach them to take it from the gym and out into the rest of the world?
Everybody has different process of learning. Some of the younger members, they need more encouragement to pull it out of them. Some of them, they need little push, teach them discipline, dedication, scheduling, prioritizing it. It depends on different age groups and where they are at. We find that that's one of the things, being in it and doing it for many, many years as a kid, I've done it. I don't just make speeches because I heard it or read it. I understand my members. Every single person here, I know them, what they are struggling with. It's a weight loss, it's their dedication, It's mental. They can't learn it. We find that again with compliment or with little push, find that to trick it and bring it out of them. So they all have it and then show them. They are training with the world-class fighters at the gym. We have few fighters, a few of our pro fighters, they're world-class fighters. They're ranked in the world. When they see how they do it, give them that motivation. Okay, I can do it too. So
Yeah.
that's just getting to know them, figure them out and show them.
Yeah. You said something really great there, actually. You said that they've all got it in them. We've all got it in us, right? This grit, determination, we've all got the skills. It's
Yes, sir.
actually learning how to tap into them and then learning how to execute them. Obviously, you're doing it in a fighting ring and you're showing these kids that they've got the grit and the determination. And allowing them to demonstrate it there allows them then to demonstrate it elsewhere in their world. Changing a little bit here, what is one lesson that you've learned through sports or coaching that really does apply to every aspect of life outside of the grit? What's one of those lessons that you've learned through your journey?
The main lesson is not giving up. You might not have the same physical ability as other person. You might not be as quick learner as the other person. With whatever you have to keep doing it and don't giving up. You can't compare yourself or compete with other people every day. Compete with yourself. Get better than yesterday you were. So my own personal experience, I wasn't one of those gifted athletes that 15-year-old, 200-pound muscle or 6 feet tall, it's 15-year-old. I didn't have all those physical gifts, but one of the reason I made it and I continue doing it, I understood I can't give up. I have to accomplish something. So that applies to everybody. You can keep on doing with whatever you have. Just don't give up.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer of that saying. It's not a failure until you give up, right?
Yes, sir.
You're never a
Absolutely.
failure until you give up. Failure is just a lesson to get yourself back up and in the game, and then you learn from that. And how do we then move on? So
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
failures are just learning moments.
Yeah, you don't. There was a quote recently I saw somewhere. You don't lose. Either you learn or you get better.
Yeah,
So there is no failure. If you keep doing it, you don't lose. You're
yeah.
gonna get better.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that.
So,
And also I really love what you said about competing with yourself. In today's world, the comparison issue is a big deal, right? You and I would have grown up in an era without these things. So
yes,
we didn't necessarily know what was going on in the world around us. And so we were secluded to our own area. So the comparison was closer to home. But in today's world, they can compare themselves with anything. How do you talk to your athletes about that, about this world of comparison? They're fighting. How do we get them to compete with themselves, not the rest of the world?
just figure themselves out. You
Mhm.
walk in a gym. We talk how tall you are, how heavy you are, how light you are. With what you have, we plan it. Few months later, you should be better and reach some of those goals that you had. You don't have to compete. When you walk in a gym, you see a pro athlete, you don't have to be like them right away. Have a big goal, plan it. And as you know, if your goal doesn't scare you, that's a BS goal. Your goal has to be big, but you
Yeah,
can't jump and get it. You have to do it step by step. Let's plan it. Next 6 months, let's drop few pounds. Next
yeah.
6 months, you have to learn something. So step by step, plan it, prioritize it, and work toward it.
Yeah, that's really cool. I actually I did a post a little while ago about goal setting. And the first thing that we got to learn and understand about our goal setting is we've got to learn where we are today. We can't
True.
set a goal unless we know where we are today. So perfect point there. When they walk into the gym, where are we today? where do we want to go, the big scary goal, and then
Yes.
what are the steps along the
Step
way,
by
the
step, yes, sir.
micro goals, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Micro goals are really overlooked. It's someone coming into your gym, right, and saying, today I am going to do this little bit. And it's a micro goal just for today's practice. I'm going to master the XYZ, whatever it is, right? And that's a micro goal
Absolutely.
that helps towards the bigger goals.
And all those micro goals gives you confidence after reaching them and get you closer to your goal. Then you can pick bigger steps.
Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting to know what self-talk, what role does self-talk have in the performance of a fighter, right? You're a
Yes.
fighter, you're just about to go into the ring. What role does that self-talk have on you as a fighter?
A lot, a lot. And fighting, unfortunately, there are not a lot of teachers these days teach the psychological and fundamental of fighting to fighters. A lot of great coaches, they teach them the physical technique, all that, make them stronger, but there are not much of talk about mental aspect of the fight. That I try to talk to all my amateur and pro fighters about that. Very, very important. Everybody knows in a fight game, in combat sport, it's a common thing. Everybody says that 75% mental, 25% physical. But nobody really break it down to say how this demanding sport, all this physical activity has to go through to get you ready. Only 25%. Obviously, that's why it is. If you are not in right mindset, you go to your limbic part of the brain, emotional part, you can't see, the fine muscles don't work, all the techniques are out of the window, you don't remember, time flies and freezes. There's so much in it. You train hours and hours every day. First 2 minutes, you gas out, you can't breathe, you can't see. What happened? It's all mental, but great coaches prepare them mentally, get them ready, tell them all the downfall and the achievements, what they are dealing with. That's the time they know exactly what they are doing. Then it's fun, it's competitive, and they are getting better and better, and the results going to be more sweeter.
Yeah. And that comes out in training, right? If I'm coming to your gym and I just want to train because I want to get in shape, the mental talk is still there. I've still got it that right to put the work in. So I'm pushing myself to the limits while I'm training.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why my classes, even for the members, they are not fighters. Classes are 2 hours. We don't have 30 minutes class, 45 minutes class, get in, get out, move on your life. You can pay $30 a month, go to LA Fitness or some chain gyms and just burn calorie and go. This is most of my members been with me 17, 18 years
Yeah.
and since I opened the gym. This is we teach them lifestyle. We don't, there are a lot of mental aspects added to this program. It's not just to learn how to punch and kick. You can use it for outside the gym as well.
Nice. Nice. I like that. Tell me, what's one thing you wish more athletes understood about mental performance?
To understand their physique, their body, and then the culture behind it, what they can do with it, where they can take this. Again, not everybody is fighter. They want to go and compete in a ring to punch another person in the face. But why are you doing it? And and how can you get there? If it's not fun, you're not going to continue doing it. A lot of people, they try this gym, this program, that program. They're always suffering to find the motivation to do it. Or they buy the most expensive equipment, they put it at home. 2 weeks, they don't ever look at it.
Yeah.
There is no mindset behind it. You have to enjoy what you are doing. When you understand it, you combat sport is the art. You learn the art, you love it. Even after 17, 18 years, my members still, you see, they are thinking about bob and weave and smaller movement, technique. That's what draws you. Always is with you.
Yeah. There's a big theme, I think, from this podcast as I've worked through it is the enjoyment of whatever it is you're doing, right? There's got to be a joy right? And the joy comes from understanding the reason why you are in the sport. It could be badminton, table tennis, soccer, golf, wrestling, fighting, whatever it is. It can be any sport, but it's understanding. And I don't think that we do nearly as good enough a job as really talking to our young athletes to say, why are you doing this? Agree with that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Find the reason. Give them the reason why they are doing it. If the 6, 7 year old kid come here by force of parents, if you just tell them run, jump rope, do this, do that, they're not gonna do it. They can go sit in front of TV and watch and enjoy it. But if you teach them, bring the joy out of it, give them the reasons, they're gonna love it.
Yeah. Yeah. And once they've got that enjoyment and that love, then it becomes an intrinsic desire to want to get there. They're not doing it to impress you or their parents or anyone else. It's an intrinsic desire to want to actually play and get better themselves.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I have a 63-year-old member. He's been with me about 7 years. Loved boxing, but he didn't know much about it. Just punching bag and all that. Little by little, we train more. As he understood and learned more about it, fell in love with it. Touch, don't get touched. Those little tricks, tips and tricks. We started sparring. Of course, he's older. We don't go hard, but just that touch, don't get that. He fell in love. He got so good at it. Right now, some of the private sessions I do with him, 1 hour, entire 1 hour, we are sparring 10 rounds of 3 minutes. 63-year-old, 10 rounds of 3 minutes, he spars.
Wow.
He doesn't get gas. He's in great shape. He looks better. That's the joy of the art.
Yeah, that is fantastic.
Yes.
Brilliant story, and thank you for sharing that for sure.
Of course.
So you work with kids. Obviously, parents are coming through there. What's something that you wish parents knew about their kids in sport?
Well, first of all, parents, if they come to the gym, sit down and evaluate and watch their kids' performance. Most of the parents through, again, last 17 years, I own this gym right here in this place. They're on their phone. They never look at their kids to see what they do. Or they come and drop the kid, they go out and they come back and pick them up. If they are involved, they want to be here, they want to coach them. So often I have to go tell them, are you a boxing trainer? Zip it. So they have to be more involved, evaluate their progress, see what they are doing. They should be parents, involved more with their kids.
Yeah, I like to say that as a parent, I'm a parent myself. I like to say that we are there to reflect the greatness we see back in our kids, and just be able to, like you said, showing up and be on your phone. But if I'm actually watching my kid, then I can then say something afterwards and just say, "Hey, I loved watching you do that. Tell me more about that. What did you learn?" Yeah, be involved in what they're doing. That's cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have 2 daughters. They've been training since they were 4-year-old. I never forced them to do this workout because their dad owned a gym. They've done ballet, gymnastic, in a school track, soccer. They are active, they are training, and they love doing this, boxing and kickboxing. They are training every day, never by my force to push them. My wife and I, we show them what it is. They love it. Even here and there, once in a while, we catch them. They're in their room. They're talking to each other about the techniques and bob and whip. We love it.
Yeah, that's great. So how did you deal then when they were in other sports for soccer or track and field? How did you deal as a parent? What was some of the things that you would do while they were in that sport?
I would watch them, encourage them, compliment them, or if they would get heartbroken because they didn't win, right away I had to address that and tell them, you are not going to win every game.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Next time you're going to do better. You have to work harder. So support them and any sport they wanted to do. And anytime I went and sat and watched entire class, even it didn't make sense, I didn't say anything. That's a coach. I just sat and watched and
Yeah.
supported my daughter.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It's
Yes,
great
sir.
when you get parents that are actually just sitting there watching and supporting and being that reflective kind of adult. Because I think we teach our kids the behavior that they're going to live into by how we sit on the sideline or sit, watching our kid train. So we got to be aware of that as parents. Be aware of our behavior because they learn from our behavior.
Absolutely, of
Yeah.
course.
So shift it towards coaching. So boxing, wrestling, fighting, I'm guessing that it's a fairly technical situation with the coaches. What are you looking for when you look at coaches? What are you looking for them to have as a coach?
Looking at my fighters,
No, so if you were going to bring on a new coach,
right.
what are some of the skills that they need to have as a coach?
As a coach, a lot. You have to have a lot. Otherwise, you're not a coach. There are
Mhm,
motivators. They can sit and motivate you and yell at you and tell you to make sure you work
mhm,
harder. There are coach if you are a coach, you have to have it all. First, you understand the sport completely.
yep,
What it takes to be good in this sport. To understand the athletes, you can't just work with similar athletes. Even the people they walk in and they don't have any physical ability, they are not that aggressive. Whatever they have, with whatever athlete you have to be able to work with them and make them better. You
mhm,
have to be a good teacher to have patience. Not everybody learns same way. Some are very slow learners. You have to have patience and find out what they are lacking. Is it physical? Is it mental? Work on that. As a coach, you have to be able to work with anybody and understanding the sport.
mhm.
50 years ago, you were coaching and still you are teaching same thing now in this day and age. You are way behind. We evolve so fast. Sport changes every day. Same sport, same boxing. Look at the videos 50 years ago, 20 years ago. We are
Mhm.
changing daily, every day. You have to be open-minded. You have to research. You have to learn where the sport is right now, what requires to be a good fighter. So coaches, they have hard work. If you want to be a good
Yeah.
coach, you have to put on a work.
Yeah, and I think you bring up a good point there. I think as coaches, I think coaches are looked upon as, he's just a coach. He's just a soccer coach. He's just a boxing coach, right? But there is
Yeah.
so much more that goes into it to be a coach. You have to learn about people. You have to know people skills because you're going to be interacting with so many different types of people. Yeah, that's it, and you got to really study your art and your what it is that you're focused on. So tell me a little bit more. We'll go back to your gym now. What is it that makes your gym so special?
Being in it, I've done it all these years, and I was open-minded enough to constantly learn. Still, I count myself as a student of this game. Doesn't matter how long I've been doing it. I was 10-year-old getting ready to fight in a ring, competing. My last fight was I was 50-year-old. Still, I'm learning
Yeah.
about the sport, not just how to be a good fighter, how to teach fighters. One of these pictures I have here on a wall is right there. I was 22 years old. Few of my students, I took them for kickboxing. I had a gym then and they won, few of them holding the certificates. Was I as good coach then or I'm better now? All these years, I'm still learning. Understanding, you can't put cap on it. Oh, I've been in boxing 50 years.
Yeah.
If you haven't learned, you haven't changed, adapt in 50 years, you are way behind.
Yeah. Yeah. There's
So,
there's there's a good amount of reflection, isn't there, when you're a coach?
yes,
Got to
sir.
be able to have that ability to self-reflect on where you are, where you want to be, what you need to improve. You can, yes, need to constantly be learning.
True.
And I think
You
that
have
makes,
to know about people, psychology. You have to
right?
understand people, know
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. Okay, so just to wrap this up, if people want to find you, collaborate, work with you, where do they find you? How do they get hold of you?
Well, we are in Pinellas Park, Florida Fight Fitness Center. But right now, everybody is on social media, Instagram, Facebook. They can find us, Ali Tareh, my name, or Fight Fitness Center. It's not hard. It's not hard to find us.
Right, right. And do you do virtual training on these things? Can they take up tips and tricks on training from your social media and channels?
Not really. There are a lot of pictures, a lot of videos of the training, but not really. This is
Yeah.
very personalized, even though we have more than 100 members, but I know every single of them. The
Yeah.
atmosphere in this gym, the mindset behind it, you won't really get it unless you
Yeah.
you are here.
Yeah, totally understand. Okay, well, thank you for your time and your insights today. It's been wonderful talking with you.
Of course, yes, sir. Absolutely. Thank you.
And yeah, and thank you for tuning in. As always, we're here to provide you with and your athlete with content to grow and develop. Join us next week for another episode of Athlete's Edge, the Coach's Edition podcast. We'll see you there.